Welcome to the Bikini Bottom Hunger Games. This voice is a text-to-speech, not my actual voice. Here are all the contestants for the Bikini Bottom Hunger Games. The games will start shortly. The tributes stand on their podiums, the clarinet sounds.
We start after the
Squilliam Francis on the third runs away with a lighter and rope. Second comes Bubble Bass, also running away with a lighter and rope. Then, there's Gary and Dr. Gill gathering bait and fishing gear. I guess Gary has arms now. Larry and Lifeguard fight for a bag. Larry ends up giving up. Flats grabs a first aid kit and runs away. Karen runs away from the Krusty Krab. Along with Nancy, Susie, Squidward, Monica, Doodle Bob, Spongebob, Harold, Mermaid Man. Mr. Krabs finds a bag full of explosives. Mrs. Puff, Patrick, and Tom work together to get as many supplies as possible. Plankton tries to gather as much food as possible. How the hell is he going to carry all of that? Pearl and Sandy fight for a bag. Sandy gives up and retreats. Barnacle Boy rips a mace out of Perch Perkins' flippers. Karen attempts to climb a tree, but falls to her death. What do you expect? She has no arms. Gary steals from Perch Perkins while he isn't looking.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Dr. Gill collects fruit from a tree. An apple a day keeps the doctors away. Wait. Pearl, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Flats raid Doodle Bob's camp while he is hunting. Nancy Susie camouflages herself in the bushes. Plankton hurts Tom's wounds. How would he even do that? Mermaid Man defeats Barnacle Boy in a fight, but spares his life. Lifeguard practices archery. Squilliam runs away from Patrick. Mrs. Puff and Sandy hunt for other tributes. Larry steals from Bubble Bass while he isn't looking.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Harold questions his sanity. Well, that is very likely of him. SpongeBob accidentally steps on a landmine.
Let's eat! Oops!
Monica receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Gary falls into a pit and dies. Monica, Mermaid Man, and Flats sleep in shifts. Squidward decapitates Mrs. Puff with a sword. Nancy Susie sets up a camp for the night. Barnacle Boy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. The irony of drinking water, underwater. Dr. Gilgilliam cries himself to sleep. Squilliam tried to sing himself to sleep. Patrick, Bubble Bass, and Tom sleep in shifts. Plankton observes his wounds. Eugene Krabs looks up at the night sky. Doodle Bob tries to sing himself to sleep. Harold Reginald tries to sing himself to sleep. Sandy, Perch Perkins, and Larry sleep in shifts. Lifeguard defeats Pearl in a fight, but spares her life. Sandy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Pearl, Mermaid Man, Mr. Krabs, and Flats hunt for other tributes. Patrick receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. He better not do something stupid with it. Larry sets Perch Perkins on fire with a Molotov. Okay Larry, that's a bit harsh. Monica makes a slingshot. Squidward tries to spear fish with a trident. That just means he's hunting for other tributes. Nancy Susie questions her sanity. Harold, Dr. Gill, Plankton, Doodle Bob, and Bubble Bass hunt for other tributes. That's quite an OP gang. Lifeguard, Tom, Barnacle Boy, and Squilliam hunt for other tributes. Lifeguard cries himself to sleep. Squilliam thinks about winning. That's very likely of him. Monica questions her sanity. Tom sets up a camp for the night. Dr. Gill fends off Flats, Harold, and Larry away with fire. Barnacle Boy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor, again with the water. Patrick starts a fire. Bubble Bass bleeds due to untreated injuries. Sandy receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Eugene Krabs thinks about winning. Plankton receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Good luck carrying that. Pearl convinces Mermaid Man to not kill her, only to kill him instead. WTF Pearl. Respect your elders. Doodle Bob dies of dysentery. Paper never had digestion in the first place. Squidward and Nancy Susie sleep in shifts. Dr. Gill falls into a frozen lake and drowns. I thought fish could swim. Lifeguard kills Plankton with a sickle. Bruh, he could have just stepped on him. Patrick diverts Nancy Susie's attention and runs away. Tom runs away from Squidward. Pearl makes a wooden spear. Monica camouflages herself in the bushes. Mr. Krabs and Sandy hunt for other tributes. Barnacle Boy, Larry, Squilliam, and Flats raid Harold's camp while he is hunting. And just as that happens, an arena event occurs. Pearl trips face first into a puddle of acidic rain. Lifeguard refuses to go into Flats' shelter, and dies. Squidward is unable to find shelter and dies. That's a bummer, I was rooting for him. Sandy injured Larry, and leaves him to die in the rain. Harold survives. Squilliam survives. Barnacle Boy survives. Patrick survives. Monica and Tom survive. Eugene Krabs and Nancy Susie survive. Mr. Krabs throws a knife into Nancy Susie's head. Sandy, Monica, and Harold discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Tom receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Patrick climbs a tree to rest. Barnacle Boy defeats Squilliam in a fight, but spares his life. Lifeguard screams for help. The Krusty Krab is replenished with food supplies, weapons, and memories from the tribute's families. Barnacle Boy, Eugene Krabs, and Monica get into a fight. Eugene Krabs happily kills them both. Harold and Squilliam threaten a double suicide. It fails and they both die. Patrick dies from an infection. Don't worry, starfish can regenerate. Sandy stuffs a bundle of clothing into a backpack before sprinting away. Tom decided to not go to the feast, neither does Lifeguard. Sandy tries to sleep through the whole day. Mr. Krabs begs for Tom to kill him. He obliques, and kills Mr. Krabs. Lifeguard constructs a shack. Lifeguard tries to treat his infection. Tom attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Sandy loses sight of where she is. Lifeguard practices his archery, while Tom scares off Sandy. Tom sees a fire, but stays hidden. Sandy and Lifeguard tend to their wounds. Tom camouflages in the bushes. Sandy also camouflages in the bushes. Lifeguard makes a slingshot. Lifeguard climbs a tree to rest. Sandy screams for help. Tom loses sight of where he is. Lifeguard sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Sandy questions her sanity. Tom accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to disarm it. There is an arena event, where tracker jackers swarm the arena. During the event, Sandy knocks lifeguard unconscious, and leaves him there as bait. It's official, Sandy is the winner of the Bikini Bottom Hunger Games. Congratulations, Sandy Cheeks. Time to show the statistics.